Well, welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program is brought to you by Calhoun's. This coming week, Tennessee's going to be hosting South Carolina. It's a 4 o'clock game, and I'll pause for everyone to cheer that. 4 o'clock game, that means pregame meal, yeah, you can do Calhoun's. If you're tailgating, go by Calhoun's, get yourself a takeout box, a Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack. You can also eat at their locations in Neyland Stadium during the game, or you can eat there after the game, or you could do all of the above and just make it a Calhoun Saturday. Calhoun's the taste of Tennessee. All right, want to welcome in the next member of our panel. We've shaken it up because we have a missing man today who got sick, so we've kind of changed the seating arrangement. Chuck Cavaleris in here. Thanks for joining us, Chuck.
Sure thing.
This is our Hot Read segment. 2 questions, 1 for each pairing. This is all about officiating. Chuck and Jimmy, I'm going to start with you two. Vols make a stop in the third quarter. They're trailing 21-13. They're about to get the ball back. Darrell Taylor on the quarterback gets there, it's not a sack, but he's on him. Kind of lays there for a second or two. Gets up, pushes the quarterback down with his hands, both hands as he's getting up. When I first saw it live, I saw the quarterback go back down, and I thought, oh, he kneed him. Then you see the replay, no, he just kind of got him with that. Do you blame? Is that a call that shouldn't have been made? Is that on the refs? Is that a call that Darrell Taylor put it in the ref's hands by coming close? Where was it?
I think Darrell Taylor put it in the ref's hands. I mean, it was a quick flag. He didn't hesitate once that happened. I mean, you could see. You would like to see, to me, the referee step in if the players, defensive players laying on the quarterback and say, get up, and don't even let it come to that. But, I mean, was it worth a penalty? I don't know, but they called it,
Jimmy?
He did put himself in harm's way to potentially get the call. I didn't think it should have been called. I thought it was a bit of an iffy situation there. Now, look, I don't know if Taylor had any other issues before that. I'm going to assume that he did, and I don't know that he did. But I thought that should have gone without being called. I'll say this: he didn't shove or push the quarterback nearly as much as the guy that knocked the heck out of Maurer. And they were going to call targeting and reversed it, and that was the right call. It wasn't targeting. But he sure hit him pretty hard, and I thought it could have been late, but I wouldn't have called that.
It didn't look like a roughing call to me. If anything, it looked like almost a taunt kind of a thing.
Right.
You're trying to exert your dominance.
Yeah. That would have been the more likely call. I'll just be honest with you. That happens in the games like that, and if it's usually you would get a warning. You would get, hey, 19, that better not happen again, man. Yeah. That's the next time you do that, you're getting a flag, and that would go away. Whether, like Jimmy said, was it his first time or was this his third time that official had talked to him and said something to him, he'd been jawing or something. But if that's his first go, that is ticky-tack in any league, any time, because what that is, that happens all the time. Somebody's jawing, somebody does a little push at the end, that's no big deal. Usually that gets a warning before you get a flag.
But here's the thing, if he just rolls off of him,
right.
There's no flag.
Right, you're right. But I just understand that is not usually called in most games.
And the referee was
close,
too far away, really, to hear anything be said in that situation, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that it was something he could have heard.
Yeah, I don't think he was hearing.
Yeah, there was the
so
action.
It was the action.
Again, and it was a roughing call. It was which
unnecessary
roughness. Yes, instead of unsportsmanlike.
And see, here's the thing. If the quarterback hadn't been slightly getting up when he pushed down, it wouldn't have looked as bad.
Exactly.
And I don't think he gets called for it at all.
Exactly.
But if the quarterback just still been laying there and he pushed up, no one would have said anything. Yep. But because he was rising a little bit and pushed him back down, that's what got the flag.
Again, that's why on live, I thought he must have put his knee into him because the guy comes up and then back down.
Right.
Instead, he just put his hands into him. All right, move on. Refs overall. UT was called for 13 penalties for 93 yards. Alabama, the most penalized team in the league, nobody wants to hear that, but the most penalized team in the league, surprising me, 8 penalties, an identical 93 yards. Your thoughts on the officiating last night?
I'm going to go with uneven. I think most of the penalties that I saw called were penalties. I thought the unnecessary roughness against Taylor, that's the outlier to me. But the holding call that they called on the wrong player turned out that it,
Greasy called that a hold before they even showed a replay.
Yeah, I mean the pass interference calls, and then you set in, and Jimmy comes in talking about the ball was at the 2 and they moved it back to the 3, and then the play that they stopped, and I saw the ref going like this. But I never saw any clocks. Usually when they do that, they're changing the play clock or the game clock. I never saw that. So to me, that was another one that was like, why did you stop the play?
Where they moved the ball, they moved it about a half yard back. It was the line that was actually further back than where the ball was. Will, your thoughts on officiating yesterday?
I just thought it was too much. In a big game at times, you got to let people play. And I just thought that they were looking for reasons to throw flags at times on both sides of the ball, on both teams. And it was just one of those games you're like, do you really need to be doing this all the time? Is those calling 3 holding penalties on one play on one team, and then Alabama got 2 on the play. And you're just like, hey, just pick one. I mean,
and they kept the Tennessee drive alive too with a third down interference. So it's not like it was all.
No, it wasn't all.
But it was way too. It was 21 penalties for 180 yards. Alabama is the most penalized team in the league. Tennessee, credit to Jeremy Pruitt, 2 years in a row, they're like second best in the league in terms of penalty yards per game. So that was uncharacteristic for them. I thought it was interesting. Pruitt kind of questioned the refs. He made a comment about the Maurer hit, where he said, well, our guy got a concussion. They don't throw a flag on that. I thought, well, but the hit didn't cause the concussion. But I'll talk to you later about Pruitt blaming officials.
Well, there was also a nice play that Alabama ran that took 1 second.
Yes.
That was pretty good of them too. I thought the officiating was horrible. And I'm not saying Tennessee would have won the game. I just saw so many mistakes, whether it was placement of the ball, whether it was where the time was, whether it was coming in to stop Tennessee in the Wildcat when there was no reason to.
Well, I was going to quickly run through these, but we've already touched on all of them. That's all right. I was going to say, Batuli ejected for targeting. Letter of the law, it's correct. I don't know what else he could have done, but letter of the law, it's correct. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that?
You're right.
Letter of the law, but I don't know how you play that play as a defensive guy and keep a guy from getting in the end zone.
Agree. I think they need to. That means adding another page to the rule book, though. Warrior flagged for holding in the end zone. Right call, wrong call.
Right call.
That was right call.
Turned him.
Yeah, he did.
Stopped the clock when UT was going to the Wildcat, and there was no explanation.
Don't understand that one.
There's one. There's one. The spot of the ball. I see people misspot the ball, but there was a lot of stuff in that game last night.
You don't misspot it when you're that close to the goal line.
That's what I
Midfield.
said. And consistently, John, why is officiating becoming so much of the story because it's so bad or so inconsistent?
It's becoming more of the story because we've got more replays and there's social media.
Right.
That's why it's more of a story.
And HDTV.
And HDTV.
Yeah.
You can
I mean,
say
it
it all.
really
It's better.
is. It's,
That's why there's more of a story.
well, thank you.
I mean, it is. You know that the refs aren't any worse now than they were years ago.
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm not.
They're in the NFL.
Guarantee you, if we had access to a 1951 Tennessee-Alabama game and we had replays available in HD, we'd be sitting here going, well, Alabama fans would be saying, we're getting robbed. Tennessee fans would be, we're getting robbed. That's just part of it. And you gave everybody Twitter in 1951. All right. When we come back, 3 up, 3 down, who played well, who didn't? We still got a lot more to go in this show. Come on back.